Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by a good friend of the show, Dave the Redneck Mundell. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
I think it looks cool. That full blast shirt, I think, is badass. You're a redneck. You like to shoot shit. You're a hunter.
It's got a
What?
lot of meanings, right? And that's so Chris, he's kind of taken over, and he's helped out a lot at the gym too with some of the other fighters. He sponsors me. I was the first one on board and stuff like that. But so right now it's clothing, but it's just more of a brand that he just has this idea he wants to start. And it's just like you said, it could be shooting, full blast, or just anything. Like you full blast on whatever it is that you love to do, just go for it.
You got the black cowboy hat on. Strictly business. You're the man in black. Do you see this? I mean, looking as far as challengers, you saw Donald Sanchez's last fight. It wasn't overly impressive. Were you surprised BKFC gave him a title shot after his last opponent?
Uh Yes and no, right? If we look at the division, there's not many people out there, and they have to feed me. Like I'm the champ, and I need fights too. People want to see me fight. So um, Donald did what he had to do. He got what is it, 5 fights now? He's on a 4 fight win streak. I don't see much in him besides experience and maybe some toughness, but I think there's a huge level difference, and that'll be exposed out there. But I'm grateful for the opportunity nonetheless.
Now, I was disappointed you didn't want to support your teammates and go to Dubai. What was with that?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. Of course, I wanted to go, but you guys know I was supposed to fight out there, and then I wasn't able to due to some gym fucking bullshit. And it was just at the time it was too much. I was still working, and then trying to make all that finagle and go out there and not make any money. It was going to be too much.
Okay, so I did get to meet your strength and conditioning coach. I saw what a tremendous look. Jessica looked phenomenal. Ryan Reber looked phenomenal. What's it going to look like with the redneck with the new strength and conditioning coach?
Listen, I'm the OG with that guy. He started with me, and this look how far he's brought me. So I think the other people are outside looking in, seeing like, okay, Dave's got something going on. Let me check out what he does. So that's why they come to Shift. They check out Shift, and they see the type of training we get. They're like, okay, what if there's something more? They're like, well, let me go check out his personal trainer. They come there and they see the type of personal training I get. Like, I have set up a team behind me that it really fits me, and they're all phenomenal coaches. They're the best in their field, and I strongly believe that. And I think, again, that shows through my fighting, and it shows through everyone else's fighting. There's something behind it.
Okay, let's talk about this. Like you were a guy who before would cut a lot of weight to get down to weight. You're now taking this fight game so serious. You're walking around much closer to weight. I know we joked about like you and Jared switching places, but
Yeah,
you're looking cut. And like I said,
I
I heard you're not miserable.
well, okay, well, it's depending on when we're talking about, right? Like I also have a phenomenal nutritionist, Jackie. She takes care of me, and she's helped me out a lot with that. I do still walk around heavier than Jared, and I still would love to switch some spots, and still open to conversation. But anyways, so inside camp and even outside camp, I do a lot better job of eating correctly, eating the foods that fuel my body, and not so much just for joy. I don't drink, I don't really party, so I don't have a problem with any of that. And then as far as not being miserable, the weight cut still sucks. All right, like don't get it. This shit ain't for the weak, and I believe, although it makes it depletes you, and it kind of it brings you maybe to like 95% instead of 100. I feel like mentally it makes you stronger if you're able to cut the amount of weight that I do and push past wanting to fucking not do the shit. Like you got some grit behind you, and it makes you hungry, and then you go in that fight and you're like, motherfucker, I had to do this to be in here. Like, someone's got to pay for that shit. I had to take this away from me for this long. Someone's got to pay for that shit. And unfortunately, in this fight, it's Donald.
Okay, you're out in New Mexico now. Is it for altitude? Are you trying to acclimate to that, or why are you out
Yeah.
there so early?
I absolutely, to acclimate to it. The time change, the weather change, the elevation, all of the above. So my last fight against Danny Christie was in Spain, and I went out there again like 2 weeks early. And I know there's no elevation or anything over there, but it's just like to get away from everyday life and really sit down and focus. Like even right now, I know I'm talking to you, but this is all very fight related stuff. It's putting me in my mindset, getting me locked into the zone, and and now it's all becoming reality. Like, okay, we're about to go in there and go to war, so I'm just getting my mind right. Coming out here early, obviously super important. The elevation is a big thing for anybody. And I try to talk to so many different people, and you hear so many different things. Oh, you only need a couple days. Oh, you only need a week. Some people say you need a month. Some people say it's impossible to do unless you live there.
Right.
I came out here 10 days early. So I was out here yesterday. I did one light little workout. And then today I went in there and I crushed the workout. And I'll tell you what, I feel phenomenal. Like I don't feel any different than when I was at home. So I'm super excited. And I think that has a lot to do with the way that I train coming into this fight. I was wearing an elevation mask that my boy Noah got for me, taking care of me. And I just prepped my body. I'm very disciplined. I know, at least I think I know what I need to do. And if it's in my head that that's what I'm supposed to do, I have the discipline behind me and the work ethic to get it done. I train my ass off. I use that mask. I'm from out here early and I feel great, man. I can't wait.
Okay, so I don't know if you know, but there's a new challenger to your throne. BKFC just picked up Ice Wars, and the president of that, Ian from the UFC, he said he's the best fisherman out there, and
Oh,
he would gladly take you on deep sea
listen,
fishing.
let's do it. First off, I think we talked about this with was it you with Kai Stewart too,
Hi,
right?
yeah.
So there's still a few people out there. My buddy was just telling me he's got somebody. So I'm glad to know that people pay close enough attention to me to know how much I love fishing. Um, but not a chance. None of y'all out fishing me. All right, that was my first love, and I'm way better at fishing than I am fighting. All right.
When did you last go hunting? What'd you go hunting for?
So I was last hunting. It was the last. I was out there with Patriots, and it was for deer. I can't remember the exact date now. I'm fucking. Oh, where we go to North
You're
Carolina.
slacking.
I'm slacking. But Patriot hunts, and they do a lot for like veterans and stuff and first
Okay.
responders, and it was an honor to for them to bring me out or to have me out really, and everything was taken care of, and we went with a group of guys that they I mean, if I wanted them to, they would have picked up the deer, brought it back, skinned it, and sent me home with a cooler, and I wouldn't have had to have done anything. Of course, me being me, I'm like, that's not how this is going. That's not how this goes down. Um, but they took care of me, and it was a great time out there. Good people, good people.
I think it's kind of cool. The hunting's becoming more like, you know, Larimore said he wants to get into hunting. I just saw Ty Emery one on like an African safari. I think it's
Hell yeah.
great. More and more people are starting to get into hunting.
It's so many people get butthurt over stuff like that, and I don't understand why. Because you talk about like what's actually going on with the way we get our meat. Like if you look into that stuff, I mean, a lot of people stop eating meat because of it.
Sure.
I'm not that. I'm not that picky, but I definitely think going out and shooting a deer that's from the wild is more humane and definitely tastes better.
Okay, so hunting, you're about to fight a guy who's approaching 100 fights. I mean, he's been around the block quite a while. Does Donald Sanchez propose any specific risks of anything you haven't seen before?
I really don't think so. I'm also quite experienced. I had an extensive amateur career. I've fought in pretty much a little bit of everything. I have a wrestling background. So as far as like getting in there and having one-on-one combat with somebody, like I'm good. I don't get nervous. My nerves are good. I've been out in the limelight and all that stuff. I've been battle tested. I've been knocked down, got back up, and I've seen so many different styles inside and outside of the ring. Like I'm just ready for it all. And the one thing about him is he's fought all these people. We can see that. And every time, what has he done to grow? What has he done differently? Watching his last fight, again, I wasn't impressed. He is a phenomenal fighter. He's a good warrior. He's got heart. He's got grit, and that's cool. But he's on his way out, and I'm just getting started. I'm just getting to my prime. I feel like as far as BKFC experience goes, I got more fights than he does. All the other stuff helps, but this is a different sport in itself. And at the end of the day, I'm just above his level.
Is it frustrating as a champion who's the pound for pound greatest of all time right now? Josh Dyer wins one title and immediately Mike Perry calls for a title shot where you've been begging him for this fight and he never responds to it.
It's one of but let's break that down for a second. Why would he go after him and not me? Right? The short answer is he's an easier fight than I am. If Mike steps in there with me, he goes to bed. He knows this. He can't have that in this time in his career right now. He just lost to Jake Paul. People are doubting him already. He needs somebody tune-up fight, right? That he can go in there. And Mike's tough. So he needs another opponent that maybe can push but doesn't have the ability to put him out, right? Because in Dyer's big, but he's kind of new. So Dyer, I just difference in levels again, and Mike runs for me for a reason. So he's going to choose the easier fights, and I wonder how much truth is behind those stories. And I don't know. I haven't seen anything about Mike calling him out directly. So unless you've seen something I didn't, I've
Oh
only
yeah,
heard.
definitely.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
there you
yeah.
go. Whatever. He's Mike's a bitch, and he's going to run, 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 run.
Okay, so Josh Dyer said that if he won the belt, which he did, he said he actually plans to drop to 75 and challenge you. Is that a fight that interests you at all?
He can come get his ass whooping whenever he wants.
Okay, so it's not a big concern for you.
No, I was thinking I was gonna have to go up to 85 to take it from him. So we'll just wait to find out what happens.
He said he makes 75 easy.
Let's go.
How excited are you fight like in New Mexico, or was it more fun? Like, did you like doing the international thing? Are you the big time celebrity guy now? So you should be fighting in Italy. You should be fighting in Spain.
Listen,
Like
I do like traveling. I am having fun. I am seeing new things. But to bring me out here as a champ to what I consider, enemy territory, like I think it's kind of messed up. I don't agree with that. I feel like he should have to come to my hometown and face me and my people. It shouldn't be the other way around. But that's okay. We'll move past that. And when I go out there and I put him down in front of all his people, they'll just have to learn to respect me.
I'm kind of shocked they didn't give you guys a Texas card and do like a big
Right.
neutral zone fight. Yeah.
Right. And if he's got such a huge following that ride with him so hard, people would have went out there. I just I don't understand why they wouldn't want me on that Texas card. I think that'd have been a way better fit. It's close enough. People would have came for him, and I always have people that ride with me, so we could have filled it up over there as well.
When you and I first started talking, to get information and answers out of you was pulling teeth. You're so much more forthcoming now. Is it just because you're more comfortable in front of the camera, or you realize you really have to put yourself out there that much more?
Um, I think it has a lot to do with my boy Noah over here. He's constantly got the camera in front of me. He's constantly coaching me. He's like my little PR dude. He's telling me how to talk, so to speak, and like how to get my story out there, making me more comfortable. So it has a lot to do with that. And of course, the more time you spend doing anything, the better you get at it. So I've done a lot of these interviews now. I've been in the fight game a while. I think like 13 years now. So it's just all becoming natural.
Okay, so Redneck Mundell knocks out Donald Sanchez. What's next?
The golden question. I don't know. I really
Yeah.
don't know. I wanted to sit down and talk to Feldman or somebody and ask the same stuff, but I guess maybe after the fight we'll get to it. You know, do they finally give me the Perry fight? Do I move up a weight class? Do they feed me another one of these, 5-fight guys? Do they finally bring somebody in with a big name? Can I fight some of these UFC guys? We don't know. We don't know. But I'm ready for anybody, anything, whatever they need. I'm there. I'm just chasing that money, I want to. I need to get paid so I can continue to do what I love to do, and this is what I love to do.
It's so crazy that you're the most. I mean, you're a very active champion. But you got Dodson hasn't defended in over a year. Blas almost a year since he's defended. You know what I mean? Like you got Kai who wants to go up to 55. Austin Trout now wants to go down to 55. There's all this movement but at the belts, but no one's actually fighting for the belts. It's kind of weird how stagnant all the championships, and at least you're still pushing forward and fighting who they put in front of you.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with how new the organization is. It's if we got to remember it's growing fast, but it's still kind of new. So having the people in there that have the experience to be able to fight for the belt, things are gonna get shifted around, things are gonna be put on hold a little bit, and that's okay. I'm riding the wave at the moment. But yeah, I want to be more active. So hopefully I can get another one in by the end of the year. I'm really pushing for that Italy card. I talked to the guy who runs that card over there, and when I think I seen him back, I don't think it was Philly. Maybe it was Philly.
Sure.
He was at that fight and he's like, I want you on the card. And then I thought that was going to be the one that had just passed in Italy. And he's like, well, we might have another one later in the year. So when that one pops up, hopefully he pulls me on.
Okay, so man, I had a great question. I just slipped it. So it's weird because I thought they were supposed to be doing that. They had teased like a Spain card in the middle of the summer, and I haven't heard anything about that. But they're already getting ready to announce like their next Italy card, which is crazy.
Um, I love Spain. I would definitely go back there. Um, it's just one of those things. But then again, who do I fight?
Sure.
Uh, so really, there's a lot of little details that got to get figured out, and as soon as they do, I'm ready.
Okay, this is a question. So Feldman was on Brian Socha's show, and he asked a very like puzzling question, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but he was saying that he wants to take one of his champions and let him fight outside of his weight class, so he wouldn't potentially lose the belt if he was to lose. But he wanted to kind of do a super fight, and everybody's wondering like, oh, which champion is he talking about? Did you hear when he asked that or anything?
I didn't hear about it, but I think that could have been stemmed from me because I offered to fight Chris Camozzi, and I believe he's got the 205-pound belt now, right? And
He
this was
does.
going way back before I think he even won the belt. Um, things to just again, I'm just trying to stay active and nothing personal, but I'm like, I just look at him, I'm like, dude, I think I'll whoop your ass, simply put. So the shit that could be it right there.
Yeah, so everybody's like, what the hell is he talking about? Like he said, oh, I got some news for Kai soon. Like Austin's hurt, and you're just like, all right, so someone's gonna fight outside the weight class, so they can't lose a belt. But he didn't say who, and he's like, oh, it'll be a super fight, and I'm like, oh fuck, now I'm curious. So like, yeah, I wasn't sure if you were maybe that guy or
Not nothing's been brought to my attention, and even if it was, I wouldn't be able to spill the beans until I was allowed to, So it's one of those things. But um, I'm always down. Let's run it.
okay, man. Well, I don't want to keep too much more of your time. Is there any message for the fans, any shout outs to sponsors or anything you'd like to give before we call it a night?
Everyone that tunes in, man, thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, you guys can go on to my Instagram. I got the link tree. If not, it's just redneckmundell.com. Buy yourself a shirt, get some swag, anything. It all comes back to me. Well, not all of it, most of it comes back to me, and it helps support me in my journey and everything that I do.
Awesome, man. All right, Redneck. Well, after your win, let's talk again and we'll figure out what's next.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks.